So, a little bit about background about myself. So, I'm working at a company called CDK Global. I'm an AI product manager. I own the platform AI capabilities because we want to build platform services so that we can infuse AI across our product capabilities. And CDK Global, yeah, few of you may not know, but some of you may know. But so CDK Global is the largest car dealership software company in United States. So if you go anytime to a car dealership, there's a 60% 70% chance that you are being serviced by a car dealership, which is being powered by uh, PDK's products. We are spread across the whole life cycle, starting from the CRM to purchasing a car, eventually to also in the fixed operation, which is where you get your cars service. So yeah, so really excited to be here to talk to you a little bit about the agents. So first of all, I want to talk first like what agents are, how multi-agent AI works, and show you low code, no code agentic workflows, like where exactly the agents are moving towards. I want to reinforce some topics about agents, which we discussed in the last session I was there because some people could not join, but like the first section will be a lot similar. And there's a reason for that because I want everybody to start thinking more about like how the world is progressing towards agents. And every day I'm seeing new capabilities coming out in agents, and agents are really becoming the next level of how people are leveraging generative AI. And so we'll talk about agent, what are multi AI agents are, why should PM cares, what are the different kinds of multi AI agents, and some low code, no code interface for agents. Last time we dug into the collab notebooks to really write detailed code. But as you can imagine, like sometimes there are different personas for product managers. Like some product managers are very technical. They can write code very easily. They can get into Python. But then there are lot many product managers who want to start getting a flavor of like how we can use low code, no code capabilities to build AI products. So this is the session where we will start exploring how you cannot just only build some low code, no code capabilities for the normal LLM based tools, but even agentic solutions. And few days back, I saw another player popping up in this space. So right now, this content is really tip of the spear. I really checked today that whether the my Python code will run in background when I show up this low code, no code solution. So glad it worked. But like we are making rapid development. So, but I want you folks to be at the tip of the spear so that you can use this agentic workflows as product managers to build POCs yourself. The days are gone when you will have a big team of engineering counterparts who you can work with. These days, the engineering team sizes are shrinking. That's one major reason why we're seeing so many layoffs happening is like you don't need that many people. But what is happening these days in the industry is, in fact, my VP said the exact same thing to me. Like, Ankit, I want you to start building POCs yourself if you can, showcase it to the VPs, the CTOs, the CPOs, probably show it in hackathon to really get funding, to get it out there, to get it in the production grade environment. So that's why this session will give you a flavor of how to start thinking about it. If you go back to my previous session, that was for technical product managers who can write code, but that was not that technical. But I think it had some Python lines that you write, but the one that I'm going to show you today does not have any Python code to write except 6 lines that you have to do because right now we're not there yet that you can get a web-based low code, no code interface for agents right now because as the market progresses, you'll be able to do that. But I'll show you how easy it is to write those 6 to 7 lines of code so that you can build your agentic workflow. So first of all, let's talk about like what an agent actually is. So agents versus LLM, the one simple difference is that agents are able to perform a specific task without human intervention. Of course, you have to give them instruction for the first time, but they can start doing the work again and again. With LLM, what happened? You have to keep on asking a question. Like, for example, if you want to get some kind of a travel plan built up for going to Paris, you have to go to an LLM, could be Anthropic, could be your ChatGPT. You have to ask a question. If you had an agent, and we'll show you how agents could work, you don't have to ask. Like, so you can get some kind of an email with all these steps taken care of. So that's the difference between an LLM and an agent. So how AI is getting infused across the company. So, and you'll see where agents are becoming more and more important. So, right now, how the companies are integrating AI is like they are infusing AI across their multiple products. They're using it for sentiment analysis, they're using it for prediction, they're using it for classification. I can give you some example. Like, what could be happening if you want to do like car dealership employees, right? Like, they want to like upsell sell capabilities to like when they are trying to service a car. That's some kind of predictive maintenance capabilities. What will that do is like, and it's good for customers because customers sometimes do not want to go back when they forgot that they have had some other repairs to be done. So again, you have to put your car in the dealership. So that's how the companies are using it right now. But the companies of tomorrow, but I believe the future is already here, but it is not distributed evenly. Think about companies like Anthropic. Think about companies like ChatGPT. They have reimagined the UI, starting with AI itself. Like Anthropic and ChatGPT have one uh, one major product, which is an AI powered product. So you see their UI is so different compared to other companies. So this is the world that we are moving towards. What Sequoia is telling is that in futures, companies will be like a neural network. The way the neural network will be is like you will have uh, customer service neural network, you'll have finance neural network, you'll have manufacturing neural network, and they all can operate together in an agentic workflow. So you've heard of this concept of like what Sam Altman talks about is a one-person billion-dollar company. How do you get to that? For that, you need to have agents working in tandem with each other. So that's why if you think this is a cute animation of how this really works, like, so let's say you are a company which wants to develop some kind of a game. So here, multiple departments, design, coding, testing, and documenting are working together, and you have a chat dev manager which is working towards, and eventually the output will be some kind of a software which will be given back. And you've seen this discussion about a Devin, which is like valued at $2 billion. Like it's just a like 6 month old. And what it was trying to do was it was trying to automate some tasks of a junior engineer. We know that like there were some criticism that it was mocked up, but now after seeing this, OpenAI has come up with some kind of a benchmark for developers called DevSys benchmark, like how you can test your capabilities. So as Sam Altman and everybody says, this is the worst it will be. It's going to become better and better. So like what you're seeing right now, the chat GPT, if you don't like it, well, wait for ChatGPT 5 and other when they come across, they are going to have a step change because the way the neural network architectures are in Transformer, like you just need more compute, more data, uh, uh, and you need to just increase the number of parameters. That's what you need to really keep on improving the capability of the model. So you can see here, like Llama came out with the new model. It was very close to what ChatGPT 3.5 or 4 was doing. Then some new model will keep on coming out. You can see that why this is happening because they are literally training it more and more data, and they are like adding a lot more parameters, and then they're using a lot of compute. So that's why this is the worst it's going to be. So future is going to be really bright. Like we're just waiting for when it happens. But I want to people to be at the forefront of the future. So this is an example of like how like currently it works. Like so, right now, what happens in the regular environment? You give a prompt, uh, LLM, you ask a question to an LLM. LLM will give you an answer, and then you can reiterate and keep on improving the prompt. That is the first way that you use ChatGPT with. Then in the chat GPT, you can also do one more thing. Like you can upload some document, like when you do not want to just rely on the chat GPT information, because sometimes there's a cutoff on the chat GPT because chat GPT is still not having the correct information. Or if you want to build some products which are for your company, you don't definitely will expose that to OpenAI. You will have your own models and where you will have your own data. So this is a RAG-based concept, retrieval augmented generation, where you give information to the LLM with a prompt, and you give additional context which is connected to this vector DB, and then LLM will give you an answer which is very specialized, specifically for your use case for your business. For example, if your company has very specific customer service guidelines, which you will not get on ChatGPT. So that's where you will use it. But if you still see here what's happening right now, it's like it's very like it's a very iterative process. You have to keep on asking a question. There's an input. You have to be a human input needs to be there. Prompt. What does an agent will let you do? And that's where the world is moving towards. Like it's not there yet, but it's coming very soon because we can already see some benchmarks are doing well. Agent has the same prompt. It has memory because it has had some previous information already available. It has also built in some reasoning capabilities. The Q&A, like you've heard of like chain of thought, like, but it's mostly chain of thought on steroids. You can keep on iteratively asking it question again and again without you being needed to be involved. It could be multiple LLMs talking to each other and asking questions. These LLMs can also call some tools. It can call some tools such as, and we'll show you how we're going to have this example in the low code, no code solution. Like tools such as, like you can call Zapier, you can call some APIs. And so it can do lot many things. So eventually you'll just give an prompt. It's going to be working in iterative fashion, and eventually you will get an output out there. So this is what the world is moving towards. And I just don't want you to take my word for it. I have data to back how this is operating towards. Uh, this is a coding benchmark. I got it from Andrew Wang, Deep Learning AI's website. They have a benchmark called human evaluation. So if you'll see here, like, let me explain you what this axes are. The y-axis is leveraging GPT-4 or GPT 3.5. As we know, 4 is a lot more powerful than that. And the x-axis is the accuracy. If you're at 100%, like you have a human level accuracy, as you know that we are still not there. So what's happening right now, if you use GPT 3.5 as zero-shot learning, what exactly is a zero-shot learning? Zero-shot learning is when you do not give it any context. You just ask a simple question like, hey, I have this movie. I'm going for a movie today called Romulus, like Alien Romulus. If I see a review, if I want to ask a question like, hey, ChatGPT, tell me like what the reviews are saying. Like I'll give her some kind of a prompt, a review that, hey, like I like the movie, I did not like the movie. So you don't give any more information. And from that, it will tell you whether it was the review is a positive review or a negative review. That's what a zero shot is. Few shots are when you give some example, like, hey, look at these 5, 6 examples from past. 5, 6 examples from past could be like, for example, like Barbie. Hey, I love Barbie, and the output is positive. Hey, I did not like this X movie, and the sentiment is negative. So you're giving some example. That is a few shot learning. So as you can see, zero shot 48% versus zero shot 67% doing better. However, if you start leveraging multi-agents, when you're adding agentic workflows in the process, even a 3.5, which are these different options like reflection, tool use planning, it starts crushing GPT-4 in the process. So definitely, even with agentic workflows, and you have not used the GPT-4, you can still start performing better and better. But like as you start going towards multi-agent, which is where we are, like you can even are getting very close to the human level accuracy. So there are different examples of multi-agent systems. Last time we focused specifically on through AI. So highly recommend going back to the recording. Like we give a very detailed overview of like how Crew AI works. But today we're gonna talk about other major player because they have come out with a low code, no code solution, which is AutoGen, which is by Microsoft. We also have LangGraph and Mosaic. LangGraph is by LangChain. Like I'll show you a screenshot. Like within few days back, they also came out with a low code, no code solution. And Mosaic AI is by Databricks. I would have loved to show it, but and we'll see if we can show some kind of a video around it. But literally, Mosaic AI did show in the Databricks Summit about how they're using a low code, no code solution to make this happen. So let's look at some examples of what these low code, no code solutions are existing for multi-agent AI systems. Today's topic is going to be around AutoGen Studio, which is Microsoft, and I'll show you how easy it is to set it up. The second option is the LangGraph Studio. Like I literally looked yesterday night and I saw that even they have come up with the IDE. So highly recommend checking it out and let me know how this is. And this is the multi-AI agent tooling by Databricks. Let's see if we are able to see the recording. I believe, yeah. And because I'm going to give next 10 to 15 minutes on that training, like to at least show how the low code, no code solution works. But let's see if we are able to make this recording. And Jacqueline, let me know that you're able to hear me when I
Yes, no, everything's perfect.
stop sharing and then show the other screen.
Is like Slack or email or even file a ticket if you need to.
Is it
so
visible?
To build all of this, we're going to use the Mosaic AI platform. And with that, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. So here I am inside. So there's three capabilities that we're going to use inside of Mosaic AI to actually build this data intelligence. So the first is we're going to use our tools catalog to actually build the data intelligence. The next, we're going to build and understand our quality with agent evaluation. And then we're going to be able to debug and improve our quality with the ML flow tracing capability. So with that, let's dive in to Databricks. So here we are inside Unity Catalog. You can see that I have some functions that I'm going to use as tools, and these are governed alongside my AI, my unstructured data, and my structured data. So to help demystify what a tool is, we're going to go ahead and click into our franchise sales. So you can see in here, it's just a simple SQL query that's accessing my sensitive transaction data. And this is where it's really important that your tools are governed alongside your data, because only the people who have access to this underlying transactions table are able to successfully call this tool. And that's why we need this centralized governance across data, AI, and some of the other tools that we've created that are leveraging our enterprise data are in here as well. So franchise by city and by.
So basically what they are trying to do here is like she's gonna talk to you about like how to help uh, a cookie marketing team to come up with like different like images that they can use for sending out to their customers. So like and they're going to use their own data and they're going to leverage LLM models to really do that in a very seamless manner.
My country are just like helper functions to help me get the sales data. And then this franchise reviews tool is actually grabbing customer reviews from our social media site. So all of these tools are leveraging my enterprise data. So we're going to go ahead now and extend a base model with these. So I'm going to come over here into the AI playground. We're going to jump in, and then from the AI playground, I'm going to select a tools-enabled base model. And so you can tell it's tools enabled because it has this little icon on the right. So I'm going to go ahead and select Llama 3. From here, I'm now going to add hosted tools. So these are my Unity catalog tools that are hosted inside the secure and scalable Databricks environment. So in here, we're going to access the tools that we just showed you in the AI schema.
So what they're doing, if you recall, is the function calling. So yeah, we are using this hosted function calling to call other products. So that's how agents are very different from how the normal.
Syntactic sugar to grab all of those tools. And then my marketing team has created a tool for me. So I'm just going to copy paste it real quick because it's kind of long. So we're going to put this in here. And this tool is going to generate an Instagram image using the Shutterstock image AI model that Patrick just announced, as well as a caption. So now it's time to actually test this. Before I forget, we're going to crank our temperature down to 0 because this is.
So, these are the hyperparameters that we are tuning. I think if you attend the last session, I went very detailed into the different hyperparameters with Kai Wang, where we talked about what is temperature, what is top P, what is top K. So highly recommend checking it out. But temperature is think of it as a concept from entropy. You don't want entropy to be very high. You want the entropy to be very low. If you have very low entropy, so you will get a very specific text that you can leverage. So definitely that's what she's trying to do, because it's a demo that they're doing a data and AI summit, and you don't want to be crazy in front of thousands of people that they're going to choose. That's why she is cranking down the temperature to 0.
A live demo.
Oh, that's what
and
she's
then
saying.
now we're going to click a prompt. So this prompt is going to say, hey, send marketing an Instagram post with an image and a tagline for the best-selling cookie in the San Francisco store so we can increase our sales and show that we listen to customer feedback. So we're going to go ahead and here and click,
She made some mistakes. Yeah, I'll just move on. Yeah, she fixed it. Yeah.
retailprod.ai. Thank goodness for error messages. So we're going to come in here, and now we're going to add this in. And now we're going to go ahead and do this. Thank you.
So you see what's happening here? We're using Databricks Playground. Yeah, I don't have access to it because they have not made it public yet. I was nudging them, but it's still under the wraps. But I thought hey, let me show you what they did, and I'll show you what we have in AutoGen. So if you see here what they're doing, they're calling the Meta Llama model. There's a system prompt which is there, and it is calling this franchisee product function.
All right. So what is happening here is going to be a little bit magical. So we're going to come inside. Oh, hold on. Oh my goodness. All right. We're going to have to bear with me. We're going to have to do it all again. All right. We're coming in here. Sorry. This is why you don't do it live. All right. Retail. Prod.ai, all of the functions in there. We're going to add in our marketing tool that's going to generate our Instagram ad. All right, we're in here. We're going to send the prompt, and we're going to make sure it's temperature 0, which is what we kind of forgot there. Temperature 0, live demo. All right, here we go. Now we're going to send this, and what's happening is going to be kind of magical. So as we come in here, you're going to see that Llama 3 is going to do chain of thought reasoning. So it's going to figure out which tools it needs to call in order to execute this. So you can come in here and say, oh, the first thing I had to do was grab the franchise ID for my San Francisco store. The second thing is it needed that to be able to access our franchise sales because it's trying to identify what that best-selling cookie is. Then it's going to grab all of that sales data in here. So it grabbed all my sales data. And from here, identify the best-selling cookie is this almond biscotti cookie. From there, it said, hey, we need to show that we listen to customer feedback. So we need to look into our customer reviews tool.
If you see there, they're using that second thing there. This agent is calling franchisee review. So you can see here all the multi-agents are working together. So the first one was generating things, and now you're looking at the data around the franchise reviews.
There, it's going to ask, hey, what do customers like about this biscotti cookie? It's going to say, oh, they like the crunchy texture and unique flavor. And it's going to send all of this my Slack tool that's going to generate this Instagram image and caption send it to my marketing team on Slack. They can review it before we post it on our social media. And so now the moment we've all been waiting for is let's see what it actually returned. So I'm going to jump over into my Slack. And this is the image that was generated by the Shutterstock image AI model that shows our image viscosity.
So the way what they have done is like there are multiple agents, they're talking to each other, they're calling the Shutterstock image model based on the prompt that is done. So if you see here, like you're really helping the marketing really up their game. And that's why these are the things you can build in-house. Like if you have Databricks and or there's some other tools, they'll keep coming out again and again. But I wanted to get the front row seat as how this world is moving.
And then you can also see that it creates this customized caption. It says, our customers rave about our biscotti for its crunchy texture, unique flavor, and perfect coffee dipping quality. And so this is what is generated. And this is how you can use data intelligence to extend your general intelligence to improve a base model. Now, what happens if I remove the intelligence? So I can come in here, kind of like we did earlier, and we're going to remove all of these enterprise data enabled, and we're going to run it all again. So now we've taken away all of our enterprise data access from this, and now it's still going to generate an image, and it's still going to generate a caption according to that prompt, but it's going to be much more generic. So as we jump back into Slack, and it's going to show me my new image soon. Down here, okay, successfully sent. Here we go. So this is the image that I now created. So all I had to go off of was that it's a.
You can see here that it is hallucinating, and it is by design. That's why you need retrieval augmented generation, like your own company's context. So this is exactly the live image that is cookie, and is I think this is San Francisco. Yeah, that's what it's trying to show because it's a San Francisco cookie-based company. So that's why like you need to ground your prompts with the right kind of data.
Cookie that's in San Francisco, and so I tried to create some kind of cool Instagram ad. Yeah, and if you take a deeper look at the caption, it's very generic. So it just says our best-selling cookie is backed by popular demand. Share your favorite cookie moments with us. And so not really tailored to our specific business or the franchise or using our enterprise data at all. And this is why data intelligence is so important. So we just showed how you can use the tools catalog to give feedback on the response. So you can come down here and they can say, yeah. And if you take a deeper look.
So I think I wanna skip through this like quickly. Yeah, like what are the other things that you can do?
And then it's gonna allow them to give feedback on.
So this is what's happening is the model is able to train like fine tune based on the data that you're giving it. Like this is where the human is coming in and getting the feedback
on the response. They can come down here and they can say yes, and they can explain why or why not that this answer was good. And then they can go ahead and click done and submit this feedback. This feedback that is submitted is then logged in a Delta table in Unique Catalog in your account that you can then build an evaluation data set off of, get confidence that you can go into production. Or as I have done, I enabled Lakehouse monitoring on top so that I can observe how my pilot program is running. So you can see over here the different franchises that I set up this on. And here is me tracking their negative scores with the agent over time. And you can see that something is going terribly wrong with the Los Angeles franchise. They're getting a lot of negative feedback on the agent. So if I scroll a bit further to actually investigate their ratings and what questions they're rating poorly, we can see that their actual feedback that they're giving me on here is that it's returning irrelevant reviews. So it's returning reviews from San Francisco stores or non-LA stores to them, or it's even hallucinated that there's a Liberty chip cookie, which we don't sell one of those at the cookie conglomerate. So we're going to need to dive in deeper to figure out what's going wrong with our quality here.
So yeah, just want to give you a flavor of like how they are using agentic workflows. If you saw there, like you also had the monitoring setup here, like where you can even track like how your different flows are working. I will share this complete link of this Data and AI Summit keynote day 1 so that you can go through that. It'll be super helpful. I think it starts from 1 minute. Yeah, like what you know what? I'll share the exact timestamp when it starts so that, yeah, I'll stop sharing and let's go back to doing some practical things again. I will share my screen again. So, back to here. So we're going to talk now about AutoGen Studio. So AutoGen Studio is a low-code, no-code interface for the AutoGen. So AutoGen was built by Microsoft, and I think September 2023, I think AutoGen was created, and now AutoGen Studio is like June 2024. Like it's very recent. Like so, and as you know, like they're still working more and more on this, like to making better. So we're gonna talk about like why this makes perfect sense. And you don't need to do much coding. That's why these are not called no code solutions. They're called low code, no code solution, where you have to do some bit of coding. Like what I would recommend is that you should be decently good in the prompt engineering and should understand how the things work. Like I think that's the thing that I would recommend getting better at, like building better prompts. I think, and we'll go through the demo of like how. So what was the goal of creating the AutoGen Studio? So it's going to help lower the barrier of entry in building multi-agent applications. That's what I mentioned, like because you can build these POCs, and maybe even for some internal company capabilities, you can build out these capabilities. You can do rapid prototyping. That's what I also mentioned, that because you want to do rapid prototyping, probably show it in hackathon, probably show it to leadership, probably show it in your PM staff meeting to really get some kind of a buy-in that, okay, is there a POC that or there is some kind of a feasibility that we can, not feasibility, sorry, the customer validation, whether there's a need for this in the market. So those are things that you can run. And eventually with this AutoGen Studio, you can keep on improving the expertise and community of the whole group, because there's a big community behind now AutoGen Studio. So this is the reason why they built it out. So now what we're going to do is like we're going to start getting into the meat and potatoes for this thing, like how we do that. Like so what first we'll do it is like the first thing that you need is like, for I think I showed in the last example also, is like you need to have either an OpenAI account or some API keys that you can separate. So because you need to use these keys in your low code no code solution. So let's see how this. Yeah, so this is where you'll go to your platform.open.ai API keys, and you'll create a new secret key. Like I've created a new secret key and I have copy pasted it and put it inside this. So that's where you will add all that information. So like after we do that, then what we do is that we go back to the. So yeah. So next is you right now it is not available in the cloud environment, so you have to use Python ID. But these are these are the 5 steps you need to get to make the AutoGen Studio work for you. So and I'll show you like how easy it is to do that. Like so I have PyCharm already enabled, and I didn't want to do it in like live because like it did work, but at least I want to show you like how easy it is to do that. So basically what I first of all did was like you need to first go here, and then you need to say conda create an AutoGen Studio. Let me paste this thing. I think there's a need for this, which will be helpful. Just copy paste these codes also so that people can use that if you want to do it live. I posted this. So yeah, you create your Conda environment and you do AutoGen Studio, Python is equal to 3.11. Like it should be not 3.8, it's 3.11. So this is one line you need to do. It's going to create an Conda environment for you. So after you do all the stuff, you need to like it's going to do all the things. It's going to do all the work for you. And then after it is done, you will be activating your Conda environment. Conda activate AutoGen Studio. So you are enabling that AutoGen Studio environment. And then I know I'm going to change this key anyway, but like this is the key, like the OpenAI API key. You will be pasting your key here. And then after you need this key, because if you don't use this key, you will not be able to call the LLMs as we discussed previously, right? Because eventually agents are still calling these agents, like these calling these LLMs behind the scene. So after you do that, what you do it is you do a pip install AutoGen Studio. So it's going to start installing AutoGen Studio, like so all the stuff it's happening all on its own. You don't have to do anything. The last command that you need to just add is called AutoGen UI. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. So it's doing all those work. So you can see here that like it's a very easy setup. You just need a PyCharm or some ID, which will have this information. After you go here, it's doing all that fun stuff and see where it comes in. Yeah. So yeah, I just made a mistake calling it AutoGen Studio U. I should have been UI. So after I do that, AutoGen Studio UI, that's it. It's ready. So you have a URL also ready, which gets created. You just have to click on it and boom, you're in business here. And now I'll show you like how AutoGen UI really works. But you can see here, it's not rocket science. These are the 5-6 steps that you need to add, and then you will be able to move fast very quickly with it. So let me show my low code, no code solution here. If you notice, we had the same URL, like 127. So this is running locally on my machine. So I want to show you like at least how the structure really looks. So if you see here that you just have to type those 5-6 commands and that's it. Like, so you get access to this low code, no code solution capability. First of all are the skills. Like what are the key skills that you can leverage here? Like and you can always keep adding more and more skills like in India, like you can have a lot more skills. That's why it's good to have a pretty good handle on the prompt engineering, but rest all will work on its own like a charm, like provided like you provide some information. But like this is the what I want us to become better and better at. Let's look at an example of one skill which already exists: generate and save images. So what it's doing is that it's taking, and you don't have to write a code, it was always there. What it's going to do is that function to paint, draw, illustrate images. Based on that, what will the parameter, what will be the image size. So all that stuff is already available as part of you. And eventually, when you don't have information, it's gonna respond back. Like, so this is the kind of skills that you can have. You can also use it to generate and save some PDF if you want. Like, so that is the skills that can give. Then the second is the models that it can call, because as you can see, if you have multiple models, like you have a OpenAI GPT-4, which is a highly performant model but costly, but you can also have some local model like a open source models like Llama 3 or etc. That's what you can also add to it. Like there's a list that you can add to reduce your compute cost. And like as they keep coming out with more and more models, this will work. Then this took care of the models. Then is the agents. What are the agents are going to do? So if you recall in the last session, what we did was like we were giving every agent a persona. There's a languages, there's a travel group chart agent, there's a planner assistant. So why don't we look at like how a planner assistant would look like? And of course, like let's see what else we can also create. So the if you see here, we're doing agent configuration. As you can see here, low code, no code solution. We are not getting into a Colab notebook to write any code. You're just typing all this information. Like this is the name of the agent. What will this do? What is the system message? So you are a helpful as you're a helpful assistant that can suggest a travel plan for a user and utilize any context provided. You are a primary coordinator who will receive suggestions or advice from other agents. So you can see here, it's a multi-level discussion that's happening. Like your final response must be the complete plan. So you have to be very explicit, telling that like, hey, like do not like run haywire. This is what eventually I want it to end with. Like, so after you give a plan, eventually it will get terminated. So this is how this will work. And as you can, if you recall, Casey also talked about temperature. Like, so you don't want to be too creative. That's why you try to keep it a little bit lower. But if your use case requires, specifically in marketing, that like it should be a lot more creative, you can definitely do that. So and then how many tokens that you need. So token is like the input plus output token. What? Because sometimes if you give it this many tokens, first of all, like it's gonna rack up my like inference cost bill because I'm going to use so many tokens. But sometimes you need a very detailed itinerary, then you can do that. But in interest of time and making sure that my credits also do not get exhausted, I will still keep it at the like 24,2,500 token limit. Do you need any code configuration? No. So this takes care of the agent. Like these are all the personas. If you recall in the crew.ai, here's what we're doing. We are creating a skill, what they can do, what are the models being used, and what are the agents we're using. So that was more like you have to write a little bit of code there, but here you don't have to write any code. You just have to create agents and then you want business. Like these are some good more examples. User proxy agent, like so you want to typically represent a user and execute code. Assistant agent, plan generate code to solve tasks, or group chat. Like sometimes you need to have multiple chats. And so these are the few things that you can do with the agent. Finally, this is how the whole workflow will look like. The workflow will look like is like, how do you want your agents to talk to each other? Like if you have multiple agents, like so, like that's what a workflow will look like. Let's see what we have for travel workflow. So travel workflow, like the name, description, what's the details, like how it will summarize. So with the last conversation, and then if you can see here, there's a user who's going to ask a question, and then there's gonna be a receiver who's going to take this information and answer all your questions. So these are the kind of things that you can do. If you want to create a new workflow, let's see the kind of an example that you want something like an autonomous chat, like where you can have an initiator reviewer, like basically like a conversation, or a sequence of items that you can use. I'm seeing a question like, how do I get access to AutoGen Studio? It's pretty straightforward. Use the, like I'll be posting the link of the presentation. It's open source. Anybody can use it. Like the key steps that I mentioned, that's what will let you access the AutoGen Studio without any issues. Or you can even Google search and check like AutoGen Studio UI. You will be in business. Okay. So now this is where like how you are using the capabilities of this low code, no code solution to make it work here. So like the build was like we were doing all the tooling behind the scenes to get all of these agents in check, get our models in check, get the workflow in check. Here's exactly what you are using to test out things and all. So let me show you some very good examples. They already have some examples, and in interest of time, I think we're gonna focus on just showing you the examples, and then yeah, you can try on your own. And this is so new that many people are coming up with new and new examples. So yeah, like we can either you can build your own, or you can see like how the market is moving. So I'm gonna click on the stock price agent and see what happens. So what's happening is the user has asked a question like, plot a chart for Nvidia and Tesla stock price for 2023. Save the result to a file name Nvidia Tesla PNG. So literally the agents are working behind the scenes and there are the messages that are received. So these are the kind of detailed information which is being provided to the user proxy. Plot a chart, save the result, and assistant. So this is what the agent has understood. To plot a chart, I am going to take this information, install this fetch the stock, plot the data using matplotlib, and save the plot. So it's already started the work. It did a pip install, then it created this code itself, and then the code is getting run in the second side of things. So if you can see here that it has already created the Tesla and the Nvidia stock price for 2024 until 01. So it's all running behind the scenes. It can also tell you exactly like what are the code it used. It also, because as you know that these systems are very smart in generating code. I have leveraged this kind of systems to really generate a lot of code for myself and visualization. So it also gives you a code like, so you just had to ask one question and it did all the work very seamlessly for you. This was the code for the stock. This was the code for like the scale. Like you see here, if you recall, this is what we are talking about, the scales, right? Like, so you had to just set one time function to paint, draw, illustrate images. So it has called that specific part of the skill to really make this happen. Like, so OpenAI, and the OpenAI they call DALI to really create those images and it created into a PNG, and then eventually it saved it in the repository. So you can see it like how easily it's able to do that. We'll just wrap it up by talking to you a little bit about like the travel specific one. So you can see like it ran like very quickly because I've run it before. The question was like, user had asked like, plan a 2-day trip to Hawaii, limit to 3 activities per day as per as possible. So what it has done is like it has quickly taken that information, called the LLM, and was able to give you like, hey, morning visit here, and day like often go here, and day 2 go for a hike to Diamond, head center, dine Honolulu. So yeah, you can see here very simple, low code, no code solution that available, and you can of course like you can add a lot more session. You can ask your questions. So yeah, I just want to show you a flavor of like what's possible. So yeah, that's all from my side. I would love to open the floor for any questions you may have.
Wow, you did such a good job. That was really interesting. So thank you so much for such a great presentation. We do have around 10 minutes left. So anyone, please feel free to comment questions down below. Or if you want, you can also unmute yourself and ask a question. Okay, let's see what questions we have here in the chat. So we have one question that just came in. Oh, someone raised their hand here. Gio, I think you can unmute yourself if you want to ask your question.
Oh, do you mean me?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is there a path to deploy these agents that we would build onto like a production environment on a live application?
So AutoGen Studio right now is not there yet to put in the live production, but I did see Harsha talking about Google Vertex AI agent. So definitely this is like you can use Google Vertex AI agent to really build the agents. And you saw the live demo from Databricks, because Databricks, like it's in private preview. Like even I'm waiting to get my access to it, because what they specialize in, like you are, if you're already a their subscriber, like your company uses it, like you can use their data insights to really build those agents. So like, so yeah, or you can try Vertex AI. I think that should be
Okay, thanks.
And I did see Achin talking about like, yeah, you can use Vertex AI agent builder to directly on production, because yeah, they all are proposing it.
Amazing. I'm reading another question here in the chat. So we got asked, how many credits does a new user need to play with when they sign up for AutoGen?
Okay, why don't we check how many did we use right now? Just did some short demo here. It should not. It should be a lot more here. So you can see my screen.
Yes.
So yeah, we all are product managers. We are data driven. Let's see, like somebody in OpenAI has the usage things taken care of. Is use. I'm not sure how real time will this be. Today's date is 15, 16 years. So it's not showing up yet. But if you can see here, this
Yeah.
is how much it costs. 24 cents. This was yesterday. I was trying to play. Oh, $16, which is today. Yeah, it cost me 24 cents today to exploit these things. So yeah, it all depends on how much you leverage. So that's why you have a lot of ways to even put your like limits in place so that you don't have to use it. Like so, right now I put a $120 limit, but you can choose to put $5 limit, $20 limit. So yeah, so it's a very iterative process. And one more thing to know about it is like while you're talking about it, like I want everybody to be aware about as a product manager about this specific website. Please bookmark it. It's gonna save you a lot of headache later in your life if you are going to be working as an AI product manager. You think about three things: quality, speed, and price. As a product manager, these are the three trade-offs that you have to work around with. So, if you can see here, GPT-4o is the one of the most expensive one, and that's what we use, and that's why I incurred 25 cents for the session that I just administered. But if you use other models, it will be it will be 1/7 of that if you're using a mixed trail model or using a llama model. So definitely like always like you have to do a trade-off like, hey, do you care about price? Do you care about speed? Do you care about quality? So like these are the three triple constraints that you need to be aware about. And there is something like a quality versus price. Like this is the sweet spot like that people are using, but everybody's use case is different. Sometimes you have a blank check from your company to explore these things. Sometimes you are like a one-man person trying to explore. So pick your battles based on this. So highly recommend checking this out. I think I'm question on it. Like let me paste the link of this specific uh, website also.
Perfect. Awesome. We have another question. It looks like Harsha is raising their hand. So if you want to just unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes. Hi, Ankit. Good to see you again. I have a question on agentic AI in general, and I also want to combine my questions with Achin's question. So, given a solution requirement, how do we think about the multi-agent scenario? Like, how many agents? How will they talk to each other? How will they kind of like coordinate with each other to perform the tasks? So, curious to know how you would go about fitting agents into a solution. Like, for example, in your stock example, yeah, you get the stock price. So should we put a trade? Should we sell, buy, options, this thing, that thing? So very curious to get your thoughts on thinking about the multi-agent thing. And
Sure, definitely.
will they learn from each other?
Exactly. So they are some good example could be like we can look at things like True AI, and that's what I gave the example in the last session also. So if you look at what True AI was doing was that True AI was, I'm trying to see if they have some examples. Yeah, these are the kind of things. So highly recommend checking this out. Like you are able to automate customer support inquiries. And the one good example for that is like, so, and if you watch the recording, you'll see that like you have one junior customer support rep and you have a senior customer support rep. Both of them are agents. So junior is asking a question to the senior customer support rep and he or she, not he or she, it's it. Yeah, it is able to look at it and give it an answer. So like you can literally work across it by having multiple of them. Like so there you have to define different personas. But right now what's happening, what I'm hearing in the market is like, so it's still very hard to make this production grade, but like companies are trying this. But one thing what is that you need to be very careful what use case where you choose your agents is like, so as an AI product manager, as you know that I'll give you one good example. People are saying, hey, agents are not working for me for KYC related use cases. First of all, you cannot just rely on machines for doing no KYC is know your customer. Like those are very high risk items. You don't want your agents because agents are not very, they're not deterministic. They are very probabilistic. They can make mistakes. So you define your use cases where your agents make sense. So for stock trading, to answer your question, the way it's going to work is that you always need, as an AI product manager, have a human in the loop. Like you do not want to automate that last step, but you need to probably do that analysis where like, hey, I have gone to this website, Bloomberg, I have gone to Wall Street Journal, I've gone to Twitter, and this is my rating, buy or sell rating. And then eventually a human needs to execute upon it. Like, as you know, that sometimes some hedge funds try to automate it and they get in trouble. So yeah, like, so it's like, how, I don't think we are there yet. So it's still moving in the right direction, but like some companies try to do it, not successful, but like people are still using it to like help them make better decisions, but not like do that last step of like executing, because they are probabilistic in nature. Hopefully that answers the question.
Amazing. Yeah, no, thank you so much for everything. This was a really great conversation. We are out of time, but again, I want to just thank everyone again for taking the time out of your day to join us. We all really appreciate it. And I hope that you all learned something new. So before we wrap up, just a friendly reminder in case you're considering becoming an AI product manager, I'm going to be putting the link to our upcoming program in the chat box below. So feel free to check that out. Again, thank you so much. We really appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you at our conversation next week.
Thank you. Yeah, and I see the more questions. Yeah, reach out to me and I can. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, thanks everyone.